Hi everyone, my name's AJ Connor and I'm going to share my story with you for Adrenal Disease Awareness Month. I've probably taken this video a million times already. It's kind of tough to condense an entire 8 years now of my journey and kind of share that with you guys. But, to start this off, I was diagnosed in November of 2015 with Addison's disease. So just kind of to start, just to give you some background, I was a very active athlete at the time. I was an honor student. I helped out my community. I served at Mass every weekend. I loved hanging out with friends and family whenever I got the chance. Just very full of life as a teenager at the time. Being 15 years old, you're kind of trying to figure out who you are. You're not really at this point of, really getting worried about college or moving on. But it was a very exciting time. I played basketball at a very high level. I played on my team's varsity team. I played football. I ran track. I was in the National Honor Society, you name it, I kind of did it type of deal. But my symptoms started around 2 months before my diagnosis. I was playing football and I started not to be able to keep up with everyone as well. I would come into class every morning with my head glued to the desk because one, I couldn't fall asleep at night, and two, when I did wake up, I couldn't wake up for hours. It took a toll on me mentally. I didn't want to talk to family or friends. I just kind of wanted to go to school, then isolate myself from everyone and everything. I ended up quitting the basketball team a couple weeks into kind of these symptoms because I was not there mentally and I definitely wasn't there physically. So it all kind of really took a turn for the worst, and as a 15-year-old at the time, it was draining. You don't think anything about it. As many of you know, you feel like you're on top of the world at that age. So it just kind of all hit me like a brick wall. And I was sick, and for weeks at a time, and nothing just seemed to be going my way really at that time. For someone, like I had said earlier, did everything, and I just, I loved life, and that's what it came down to. But I went on a few more weeks and I was convinced to rejoin the basketball team, so I rejoined. And to be honest with you, every practice and every school day from there on out until my diagnosis was a struggle. I'll share one story with you guys. Most of the practice, my head would be in the trash can, and after practice would be even worse. One time, I came off and it had felt like someone had just given me the maximum dose of anesthesia. I could not think. I couldn't move. I sat on the bench with my head down for a good 20 minutes. But thankfully, I have an amazing brother, and I had asked him to go get me something salty, as I'm sure some of you know. Before you were diagnosed, you had that intense salt craving, which is what I had. So he ran to the vending machine and got me something salty, and that kind of perked me up. But that was the beginning of when I knew that something just wasn't right. And from there was just kind of a guessing game. I got sick again, and my mom took me to my PCP, and he just said, well, it's just some recent mono, you'll get over in a few weeks, and sent me on my way, and that was it. But I also am so beyond blessed and thankful for the parents that I have, because they knew that this wasn't the AJ that they were used to. So my mother immediately drove me up to the emergency department at UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, where they diagnosed me 2 days later with Addison's disease, and my entire life changed from there. it was a surreal feeling at the time. Like I had mentioned earlier, I was just a 15-year-old. I didn't know any better, and I didn't even so much as understand what this meant for me long term. I remember my mom being really upset, as any mother would be. But it really hit me when the doctors told me that one more basketball practice, and that probably would have been it for me. Then it sort of kind of took shape for me, and the seriousness and the just the surreal feeling of it all. But from there, it was just a new perspective. I mean, I don't know if, for you guys, what that kind of felt like, taking the medication for the first time and you just feel alive again, and you feel normal. And I started to feel normal. Obviously, it took me a couple months after that. I would get sick around every 2 weeks, and kind of helped my body progress for a couple months after that. But, fast forward, it's been 8 years since then, and I've been extremely blessed with the best support system in the world, truly. I could list names for days. My parents have been amazing this entire time. My brother, my grandparents, my friends, everyone wants to be involved. And I really believe that's something truly special and something very important in our diagnosis. Is it takes a helping hand. It truly does. And, just so much is going from showing someone how to use your injectable, making sure that people around you know that when it's time to double dose, when it's time to triple dose, as well as yourself, and listening to your body is extremely important. But just kind of to share with you guys how this 8 years have gone for me. I ended up going to college. I was accepted into Duquesne University's biomedical engineering and nursing program, which is one of the only ones in the country. I ended my basketball career as an academic all-state player in Ohio. I finished near the top of my class. I've been very active in the community. I helped here at Duquesne with the COVID-19 response program on campus. While I was on campus, I also joined the Duquesne women's practice basketball team, where I play against some of the best girls in the country today. I also just placed for my capstone research project's 4th in our university new venture challenge, so that was very exciting. But my point in telling you all this is that leading a normal life and living a normal life is very possible. One thing that's really stuck out with me, and one motto that I truly kind of live by each day, is that you have to fall in love with the process, not just the end result. I take pride in knowing my diagnosis. I know that every day, I'm sure as most of you know, every day isn't the easiest to wake up to. You still have those pains and those aches and that extra fatigue on your body, but it's knowing that this is a very manageable disease, listening to your body, listening to your doctors, and attacking every day like you don't have this disease. Another thing is that don't let this disease change who you are as a person. You're still the same exact person you are pre-diagnosis, and this disease may even better you. I know it's definitely caused me to grow up a little bit quicker, but I believe everything happens for a reason. God puts these battles within your life to better you and better those around you, which is kind of why I'm sharing this story with you guys today. But yeah, I am honored to share this story with you all for Adrenal Disease Awareness Month. I believe it's very important to share all of your stories, And, because you never know what the person you're talking to is going through. I know from previous experience, these stories have molded me into who I am today. I take every little bit of information I can. And I love hearing each and every one of your stories as well. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys again for your time. Utilize the NADF website for any questions you have about this disease. Like I said, it's a very rare one, but you're not in this alone. Thank you guys and have a great day.